Hi, Kuldeep. Hey, hi, Keshwa.
Hi, Anvit.
Hi, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Thank you for joining in.
Uh, yeah, Friday is somewhat manageable.
Oh, that's great to hear.
Yes. Other days actually really they're going to be overlapping meetings and all. Uh,
Oh, okay, 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 okay. Hey, hello, Koinagi-san.
Hello.
Hello.
I don't know. Yeah.
Hi, Kuldeep. Yeah, we'll just wait for some time until people join in.
Yeah,
Uh,
sure.
it takes a while sometimes just to get some people. I think most people are either busy at work or they're looking at lunch. Hello, everyone. We'll just wait for a minute or so, and then we'll get started. Just to get some more people in. Yeah, and we'll just wait for about a minute more. That's all. Hello, everyone. This is the SODA Foundation Global Community Meeting. This is a bi-weekly meeting which happens every alternate Friday. And this meeting is for discussing everything under SODA Foundation. Could be technical, could be related to the ecosystem, and it could be something absolutely new as well. We discuss everything from where we are in terms of design, development, any issues, and also in terms of ideas that we could work on in the future. We also discuss about events and ecosystem development that can happen across the globe, and also how you can be a part of this. This happens every alternate Friday. It's at 6:30 a.m. UTC. If you're in India, that's 12 noon on alternate Fridays. Today, we actually have an exciting talk on the cards. We have with us Dr. Keshwa Munegoda, who is the creator of the Storage Benchmark Kit. He is going to be presenting on getting started with SBK. And then we have some project updates from Kahu in terms of where we stand and some of the tasks that are available. And if you're interested, how you can start contributing. And then some updates from Delphin and from Madagascar. But we'll get into that as and when we get there. First up, we have with us Dr. Keshwar. Thank you so much, sir. I think I'll stop sharing and hand over the stage to you.
Hey, Anvit, thank you. So, no sir business, please. And this doctor is required mainly for university convenience, definitely not for corporate one. Okay. So I think the very basic overview has been already introduced in the SODA hackathon event demo days. So in today's session, what I'll do is I just run the SVK. We'll do one bare minimal file system benchmarking so that I can show the Grafana part.
Okay.
Because we have been discussing that is there any way that we can merge the Delphin and SBK kind of stuff.
That's right.
So maybe yeah, this is going to be a one good start so that I can get more suggestions on that front. Okay, so let me share my screen. Awesome. Let me share my entire one. I don't know whether, do let me know if the fonts are very small or something so that I can arrange it. Is this okay?
This is okay, but I'll leave to others as well to say. You can probably increase it by a single point, maybe more. Bigger, yeah, just there's bigger on top here.
Is this?
I think it's okay for me. If anybody
Let me
has
make it some more.
I think this is fine, Keshwa. I think if anybody has trouble, maybe they can raise it up, and we'll.
Yeah.
This is good. This is good.
Okay, and this side, this one. Okay, this one I think should be fine, right? Okay, so just as the name says, storage benchmark kit. So it is a software kit where actually you can add your driver, SBK driver for your storage stuff. In your storage stuff, in the sense, if you know how to do some preconditioning operation like preparing the or opening the device and closing the device, and then how you want to do the read and write, if you know the APIs for those things, that is sufficient to create a driver for storage benchmarking. If you just add a driver, the rest of the things like creating a payload, timestamp, and complete performance benchmarking, the SBK takes care of it. Along with that, you can actually run, once the driver is ready, it means you can run it in distributed mode also. Means you can run it on multiple systems and onto the one any of the storage system, and consolidated results you can get it on one system. So I call the system as SBK RAM because results aggregation monitor it is. So that's the overall. And today we already have, I in my page also I added the same thing for the soda code, the very overview one to just describe all the components of it. And we have all the set of drivers which are readily available. And to build and other things, it is upright pretty much right away the simple steps where you just need to have a Gradle Java 17. Gradle anyway, it will download automatically. Java 17 you need to have. If you don't have a Java 17, then the recently, because of the Soda hackathon, where when we visited some of the colleges, I started seeing that people are having even some issues, which one to refer, where to refer, and these kind of things to install a JDK 17. So I came up with one Python program also. If you have a Python, then you can install Java. That is a one thing that you can make it. All you have to do is after running this JavaScript, you just have to set the environment variable for the Java home. So that's a pretty much on the very basic one. Once you do the git clone, the build is simple. So it is a clean build. It won't take much time. Of course, intentionally I kept with a high speed one with, but generally if you have a very good at least 8 MB RAM system, it actually goes pretty fast. So you just need to build it. Okay, so let me open up on another tab.
And Keshwa, this is irrespective of the platform. Like you can, I think you're running a Mac right now, right?
Yeah, I'm running it on Mac, but this is irrespective of the OS.
Agnostic. Yeah, so you can run it
Yes,
on Windows, Ubuntu,
yes,
Macs, everywhere.
yes. But yeah, the very frequently my day-to-day development system is on Mac, but very
Okay.
frequently I do check all those things because and in my office environment we use it on Red Hat.
On Red Hat.
Windows I haven't used, but I ensure that it works always. Every release
Sure,
it works.
sure.
Okay, and then once you do that, let's say the installation distributions we can create it. So this actually does some of the basic IO testing on the file systems and some of the internal components of the SBK. So once the bin is ready, now this install executable is ready. For example, let's say if I want to run um, for the file system, so for every system that you want to benchmark, the option is actually hyphen class, because the why class, because the how to add a driver, there is a topic in SBK. In that actually you have to implement one interface, which is storage interface. Eventually the Java developers, they have to create a class. That's why I just named this as parameter as a class, whether it is a write or reader, and the size and which timestamp you wanted to. So there are three options that you can see. That one is in millisecond by default, other one nanoseconds, and the other one is microseconds, and how long that you wanted to make it. let's say 30. So if you give these much parameters, the file name, there is a default file name which actually it assumes, which is file.t test.txt kind of a thing. Otherwise, you need not to give. If you give a help, it will actually print what all the parameters that you can make it. So if you don't give any file name, it will actually take the test.txt. And this file, I already created it. If file is not existing, obviously read will fail. If this test file, I already created it. If you just run it for a 30 seconds, you will see all the parameters, all all the benchmarking data for every 5 seconds frequently that we start printing it. So in that we say that we actually print how many readers that we have. And since there are options that, let's say if you're running it for 5 minutes, for every 2 minutes you can you can increase the readers also. So for that case, the max readers can actually can increase, the active readers can also increase, and it can decrease once the, if you're reading via number of records, the reader can exit at any time. So the reader and the max readers, of course the writers are not supplied. And for what is actually the interval that it is executed, and how much data it has read in terms of megabytes, how many records, because the record size is here 10. I gave each record which I wanted to read, a data size is 10. So how many records which it gives, what is actually the throughput in two formats. One is the number of records per second, and other format is megabytes per second, so 10 MB per second. What is actually the average latency, maximum latency that you can see, means the timestamp marked before the read and after the read. So we get a enormous data on the latency values. We need to sort them out, and we actually calculate the percentile on that. It's a very standard calculation on what are the percentile. The catch here it actually this percentages covers both quartiles also, all four quartiles, 25th, 50th, 75th, the last one also. Similarly, the other all other percentiles, like for example 20th, even 10th percentile, and especially most of the graphs, if you see the latency graphs, are always right skewed. Means it will always I mean, it is sorted anyway, and it will be right skewed. So we pay special attention what is actually on the 90th afterwards, when there is a sufficient system load and we are trying to do the benchmarking. So for there, actually, we need more granular latency values. So if you see that after 90th, so I've taken it for 92.5, 95th, 97.5, 99. After 99, there are a few more granular things that we can take it. So once you run it for a stipulated time, we give a end results also. This is a basic output. Anywhere, if I go, especially in anywhere the universities where I'm trying to introduce this, generally I show this, because the very first thing is at least they should be able to run it. And then to make it catchy or anywhere, that of course we need some live analytics there. We can show, I have a system where on the Docker based, we can readily show the Grafana's also. For example, in this case, if I clone this, I have cloned it in this directory. Okay. So once the SBK directory is there, all you have to go is, you can go to Grafana. There is a Docker compose file which is already existing. If you already have installed the Docker, all you have to do is a Docker compose up. So this will actually create two servers. One is the Prometheus one, and the other one is Grafana, both on the Docker side. And these ports are redirected to the host machine where I'm running. So moment if I run this, okay, so this is running now. I hope you guys are able to see the, just confirm me on the local host, you guys are able to see the Grafana web page which has come.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. So I'll just keep this as it is. So moment you do that, since it is, there is a readily available dashboards also with this. So whenever you clone it, so it comes with the pre-packed dashboards. Okay. So if you go and check this, that there are dashboards where you can go and browse. Okay. Whenever I add a driver, I just add the dashboard also. Adding dashboard is also very simple because there is a template file which I created. So you just have to run one Docker command to generate the dashboard. So dashboard is available. All you have to pick that. Now it actually, by standard, by default, it always listens to a standard port, which is the Grafana, which is Prometheus 90914. And of course, it changes. So by default, SBK puts all the performance results to standard port 9718, which I choose because looking at the other streaming storage when I was working, everybody was occupying one port. So I thought, let's take this one. And then from there, actually, the Prometheus picks the results, and then it is redirected to the Grafana. So now, if I run, let's say if I run the file system benchmarking, I'll run it for more 120 seconds. Okay. So now it is all the results. If you see the local host uh, metrics, so it will get into the metrics. From here, the Prometheus actually pulls the results, and then from here, it should come over to the Grafana. This is where actually you will start seeing the results. Okay. So this is the average throughput, how many bytes that we're accumulating, that we are reading, average latency value that we print, and all the percentiles that we put it in a graph. And of course, the throughput variations and everything that you can see. This is for the read case. So this is a simple one. Of course, there are other dashboards for write also. And there are, let's say, for distributed message queues, for Kafka or anywhere Pulsar and these kind of things, or even RabbitQ, you can keep writing and you can keep reading it. So for that, actually, you can have a writers and readers. For file system, you cannot have it, but for those kind of systems, you can have writers and readers. For that also, there is a different dashboard which I have set it up. You just have to. They are in different tabs. That's all. So this is one thing, and I'll go to the other one. Let this complete. So not only this, the recently during on the soda code time, the prop where actually we need a comparative analysis. Where see this is the readily available. If somebody wants to use it, or somebody say if they want to compare, let's say they want to compare two S3 solutions, Minivo versus OpenIvo. They want to do it. They need to change this graph parameters, and you can run it. You can run the two instances. You can actually change the port where actually you in the context one. Here, if you see in the help, if you see the context parameter, you can actually by default 9718, you can actually change this port. And you need to change accordingly the Prometheus configuration also if you want to pull it, and live comparison. Other than that, let's say you have the benchmarking um, for several hours, and you want to compare. So that can be, you can actually put all this data into CSV file. And in the CSV file, you can create a multiple CSV file, and you can actually combine those results and compare and create a graphs using an application, SBK charts. So just to quickly look into that, I can just share the existing results that so there are samples which are already available in the SBK GitHub projects itself. So where this samples, if you see, let's say OpenIvo and MinIvo. I have these two values where OpenIO read benchmarking and write benchmarking and all in the CSV files. You can actually give a input these two files and you can actually create an Excel file using the SBK charts command. Okay, so let's see the results first. This is the pretty much straight away the README file. Let me go back to website and show you there itself. So you can supply multiple CSV files and it can actually produce one Excel sheet with all the comparison. So here, these two files, MinIO read and reader, MinIO read and OpenIO read, if I compare, I can actually get this result in the Excel sheet. So these are the results which are extracted from the CSV file. It can actually give a summary. Okay, so which time unit I've been measuring. This is the operation and which are all the components I'm comparing and the throughput comparison. Okay, why I'm not seeing? Okay, so looks like the throughput is very low in these two things. So here readily available graphs that you can see. So it will start applying, comparing both. Okay, so the latency values are distributed from 10th percentile to till 99. So I have segregated till 50th one and then post 50th, last 90th percentiles. So we can actually take this comparison over here. This is the SBK charts application which creates the this kind of graphs. Okay, so now I have added recently. I've added the bar graphs also for the total comparison. So that is also visible now. But for this session, I think this should be sufficient. Where I can use this actually gives enormous graphs, a lot of graphs actually. You can see that there is a two, let's say percentile 10 comparison between OpenIO and MinIO. You can see that. Similar, all percentile comparison, the graphs are available. Okay, till 99. So it actually gives a lot of data, a lot of comparison data. Okay, and the summary also. Okay, so this is about the SBK chart, and executing is kind of pretty simple. Okay, so here if I'm trying to read the compare in between file read, SBK file read, and the RocksDB, which I wanted to compare. So this is what the chart by default the chart would be. I can specify what is the output name, or I can specify what is actually the default one. So default one is out.xlh sheet. So let me go and look into that. 1 second. Here it is. Okay, so this is the one, the newly generated one. So R1 is a regular intervals. This is the total of file system benchmarking. R2 is the RocksDB. So T2 is the total of RocksDB. And you can see the summary in terms of nanosecond, file system versus RocksDB, throughput comparison. So these are all the line graphs. So apart from this, the total throughput comparison in terms of bar graphs. So these are some of the recent items which are lined up for the next release. The max latencies. So this is a SBK. Okay, all the components are Java application. SBK chart is only the Python application. So apart from this, I did mention about the distributed execution. Distributed execution is something like you can run it on multiple systems and you can collect results on one. So in this demo, I'm just running it in only one, which is local system only, but I'll get the results via SBKR. So this is also there with ready-made results which are available. Okay. Okay. So this is the one. So concurrent queue, I wanted to, let's do the benchmarking. So this is the one where you can supply one YML file and you can actually see the benchmarking. The YML file will have all the parameters, like where and all the hosts you wanted to run. Since I have a limited setup, so I'm just running it in, I'm sorry. Okay. This is gem. Yeah, we need. Okay. This is the one. It is SBK group execution YML benchmarking. So if you see this YML file, which is CQ1, this is the YML file. I hope you people are able to see this. I increased it. So SBK gem arcs, where and all the nodes that you can. So this can actually, you can increase. You can actually increase into multiple one. Which class, the same SBK parameters. And for copying to the remote machine, you need a location of the SBK where it can. And of course, this can actually, you need a SSH username and password, because this is written with uh, Apache Mina as a this uses the Apache Mina framework to log into to remotely log into the SSH, copy the SBK packages, trigger the run the SBK, and collect all the results in the host machine. So this is where actually, and the same results can be viewed uh, in the same in the same Grafana dashboards. So maybe I need to correct a little bit here on the looking at the connections and other stuff. But in general, the same thing with the other port, it actually results, it prints all the results. So I think other port is 9719 or something, and another port which I have taken it. But in general, it actually pulls all the results into the Grafana. In one node, you can actually see the consolidated results. So maybe here, I'll run it again. Let me go back and check on the concurrent queue one. Okay. I think it has already recorded the one reader and writer. Write and read. Yes, this is the performance. So maybe I can run it again. So if I run it again, you will see these. Maybe it is running only for 30 seconds. Maybe I can change that and run it. So it actually shows in the reporting system, it actually shows how many connections and all, how many reader writer connections and everything that you will have. You will see the number of connections. See, the active connection is one. So one remote connection is there, one max connection is there. This is the throughput. Okay, so maybe it will just stop it because it is running only for, and this refresh rate is, I think, 5 seconds. Yeah. So the group execution monitor is on top of it in the YML file input is mainly to serve the purpose that we can actually run it on thousands of hosts, and still we should be able to collect all the results. Okay, so that's all the brief execution. I'm damn sure I really went in the express way. Let's take some of the questions so that it will be more clear on the understanding wise and setting the expectation. Hello.
Hi, Keshav. Yeah.
Yep. So do let me know the questions.
Hi. Oh, okay. So first of all, thank you so much. As you mentioned, expressway, but I think there's a lot of information that we got there. I think we can open it to questions. Rahul, Koinagi-san, Joseph.
Any questions, any, even any trivial questions, please do ask. No presumption, no assumption that there should be some basic steps and other things, because the reason being, see, the let's say Delphin one, which I'm currently looking into, that I feel that okay, that's pretty new thing to me. Even though you might know something really good, but always, if you any new product or any new thing which comes, obviously we need some basics always. So please go ahead with the questions.
Can I ask some questions?
Yeah, please.
I'm Teru Koyanagi. Thank you very much for your presentation. So I tried to run the SBK GEM in my environment. In the last demonstration, you are running all nodes in your local computer machine. Is that right?
No, I'm running only one remote node. I mean the same thing in the local host only. There are two instances which runs in SBK GEM when it gets executed. The very first instance is actually, if you see these results, these results are actually the remote results. He is getting it from the local host only. But if you see, I copied the entire SBK into the user location of this. Okay, I copied into the user location, and the remote execution has happened from the /user. Okay, and it gets deleted. Once it gets executed, it gets deleted. Okay, so maybe I can run it and show it again if it is happening. Here it is. If you are seeing as SBK jump 0.991, this is the folder which gets copied and gets executed.
Okay, so the required files are automatically copied in the remote machine.
Yeah, you need to give the SBK executable folder so that it will, and of course where the location also. Otherwise, by default, it actually assumes the location. For example, let me show you the health thing. This is pretty okay. So so SBK. Let's take the SBK gem only. If you take the SBK gem, okay, if I run SBK gem, these are all the parameters. This is actually combination of SBK and the additional one. So the parameters which are very much important one here it is. Your SBK command, by default, it will be bin and then SBK. SBK directory, which directory that you wanted to copy, directory path of the SBK application. Okay. So by default,
specify these. Oh yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so you have to specify this directory. If this directory is already specified, within that directory, the path would be bin SBK. Or if you want to, if let's say you have customized it, then you can change this path also. Okay, and the gem user, I mean the gem user and gem pass. So gem user is actually the SSH username. Okay, and the password. Default SSH default port will be always 22. So this should be I mean, you need not to change anything. I mean, you can change it if you're running it in different one. And the other one is nodes. See, the nodes actually should be separated by comma in case of SBK jump. If you are using SBK jump YAL, means YML arguments loader, in that case, it is something similar to the file, you have something like this. You can actually give it in multiple lines. So notes can be given, you can give it in multiple lines, or you can just give it in the, on the other one, let's say the node 1, node 2, these two things. If these two nodes are not reachable, obviously the SBK gem will fail, but this should be separated by a comma. Okay, otherwise you can give, you can give the, you can give it in next line, because this is the syntax to give it the multi-line one.
Yeah.
So
can I use IP address for the node?
yeah, you can use. You can use. Let's try that. Let's see if the two instances, it should run. If let's say if the two instances runs or not. Okay. So let's say I give two things. Okay. So I should be able to get two instances now. Let's see.
I have another question. Can I use the do I need a password always? Can I use a SSH key to log in to the remote machines?
Yeah. You need a SSH user, SSH password. Okay. So that is the parameter, which is gem pass, gem user. So group execution monitor user. I mean, I cannot give the SSH because right in the description it is okay, but this here, this can change. Let's say later if I want to use it other than SSH, so I wanted to keep some uniform name. So the gem user is actually the SSH user. Gem password is actually your SSH password.
Yes, but sometimes I don't have a password for that machine.
Passwordless is possible.
I want. So always I need a password to local machine.
No need. You need only the user. Password is actually not required. Let's say if you have configured your passwordless SSH login, that is also fine.
Oh,
because
okay.
by default, no password. Yeah.
Default is no password. Yes, got it.
All right. So if you see this result now, I think I should be able to two connections. See, he is able to connect to both localhost and 127.0.1. Okay. So now if you see in the local host only, there are two connections which are running. If you are seeing it, there are two connections. Okay. There are two connections. Yeah. The same thing, if you might see that there would be two. All right, two writer and reader connections, two active connections. Okay, obviously your results will change definitely once you get this. So it does. So basically this, the intern, just for the curiosity's sake, the SBK RAM is the server which actually runs. It's a gRPC server. So all the nodes are actually runs. So these are the results that in case of any error on the remote machine, it will get thrown onto this. And let's say you might specify the multiple and the same name also. So in that case, let's say if you have given multiple instances, it doesn't mean that it is going to do the multiple one. It can actually remove this. Okay, two instances, rather it could be only one. So it does the name filtering also. I think I have answered your question and I showed the results also. Hello.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep. Yeah. Do let me know. You can actually post it via as an issue, or I can. If you send an email or post it as an issue, I can actually I can invite to the SBK channel, so Slack channel. So there actually you can post all your observations.
Oh, that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yep. So let me post that so that you people can join.
Keshav, are you posting the Slack link here in chat?
Yes, yes, yes.
Ah,
In
okay, that
the
will be good.
in this soda code.
No, you can post it here in Zoom chat. I will put it in the
Awesome. That would be great.
I'll put it in the meeting
Thank
notes.
you. Yeah, sure. So please do join. I mean, I'm trying to spread it to the most of the students and these kind of things where people try out something and then they post it. So let's see. All right. So yeah, please. Any other questions? Any other thought process or any other improvement things or something like okay, this can be shown in some other way. The one other thing also in my personal experience is to reach out to the most of the student thing may not be professionals, but to the reach out to the student thing. The very first thing it should execute. Very first thing they should be the copy paste should work. So in that fashion, I try to simplify it as much as possible, and the graphs and other things. But still, of course, there are a lot of scope to improve. And the yeah, anybody definitely in the Soda code if you are working on the Delphin, maybe I think we'll sync up later or very soon. I may contact you people on the merging these two things. How effectively the Delphin can use the SBK for the performance related stuff.
Thank you, Keshwa. Are there any more questions? Do we have any specific questions with respect to how to work with a particular driver or anything? Rahul, any questions from your side on this? Did you have a chance to discuss anything with Keshwa?
Yeah, maybe I can actually take a one more session on how to add a driver also, because that is also you can actually start with I mean, if you have time, maybe I can show it. It's just a minute job.
I think we can do that because this is a much more interesting topic. We can, and the other topics today are all updates, so we can probably keep the last 5 minutes. So you have another
Okay,
5 more minutes.
cool then. Cool then. Okay, to add a new driver, if I hope you are seeing the you're seeing my
Yes, yes, we are.
tab. Let's say you can add a new driver. So you just execute the Gradle add driver -p and the driver name. Let's say the driver name soda. Okay. So moment if you add, it will actually add a driver -soda folder and all buildable template Java template files to this project. Okay. So once you add this, okay, so this is added. If you are using IntelliJ or any of your this one, you will definitely figure it out a driver -soda folder here. Okay. Are you able to see this folder? Driver -soda. Okay.
Yeah, we
It
can, but it's very small though. But we can
very,
see.
very,
We can,
okay,
we
okay,
can see.
okay. Cool, cool. Okay, this I can increase, but okay, not this folder one. Okay, so this is also highlighted now. Okay, in that there is a build, all other stuffs get added up. Everything gets added up. Okay, in that you will find a soda, which is a storage class. Okay, all you have to do is there are methods which are already available. Okay, if you want to add new command line parameters, you can add it in add-ons. If you and the same parameter you want to parse, you can parse it over here. Okay, and then if how do you open the storage? How do you close the storage? How do you create? So this soda writer, soda reader is already created. So writer, in this writer case, how do you write the data? That you have to fill it up here. How do you read the data? That you have to fill it up in the soda reader. So template Java files will be ready always. Okay. Let's say if the template itself is ready, for this, all you have to bring in is definitely you need a Maven package or some some dependencies where you need to add your API or a library into this in the dependencies. So one dependency is SBK API, that which already comes with that. Here you just have to add API project, whatever the storage device that you wanted to add. Okay. If you have done, if you do all those things, it is ready. I mean, you need not to touch any of the build files because it is already updated for you. All you have to do is, let's say I do a cleanup. Okay. And let's do one check on this. Okay. This driver is already applied. I mean, this driver is already into the framework. Okay. But thing is, he don't know how to do the opening the storage device, how to do the IO operations. You have to fill up those things. That's all. But if the template driver is ready and you can build that much is already available. You just have to build it. Okay. And you can run that and see, and it will actually throw an error saying that so it is not implemented or something relevant one where it is an error one which I'm throwing it up. Let's see. Okay, and even in the help also, it will get listed up. Okay, so let's see in this. Just SBK. Okay, I haven't passed anything. But if you look at this, I hope you guys are able to see there is a list of available storage. Okay, 42 are there. Here, if you see that soda is the newly one which we have added. Okay. And if you want to execute for this soda one, let's say I just want to execute this class instead of file system benchmarking, a soda is the new driver which I wanted to. Okay. No help because help will anyway print only what are all the available arguments and other things. If you try this, okay, it says the soda driver is not defined. So go and define it. Okay, they're readily configurable, or you want to read some configuration and other things. So all these files will be existing. You just have to fill up your IO APIs. That's all, and remove these exceptions. Okay, for close, let's say you may invoke some API, or you may not. For sync, it may be auto sync. So you just have to remove this line. Okay, for a safer side, I just introduce the exception that these are all the things which you need to. And here I just added some comments also, like, okay, this is how you can add the new this is how we can pass the new parameters. This is how you can add the new parameter. So all these things are already available. So this is how actually you can add the driver. So the thing here it is, the whole concept of this is you need not to know what is actually the SBK, but all you need to know your storage system. Your storage system also in depth you need not to know. Your storage system, all we need is only the write and read APIs and some precondition things. For example, you might do some opening and closing of the entire storage system or these kind of things, some precondition stuff, pre-operational stuff before you start doing write and read. That's all. So if you know that, let's say if I know some of the APIs of the any new storage device, at max I can write one driver in a day. Basic driver, basic working one. Of course, you can optimize, you can do a lot more stuff because as and when you go in depth, there are a lot more internal APIs that you can, internal implementation that you can start optimizing it for your driver. But you want to have a basic benchmarking, it's a day job. That's all about adding the new driver. You just have to take this one.
Hey, that looks very straightforward, Keshwar. There's a lot of things already available in this, so that's quite good. One question is, so right now you just showed how to build and deploy or run the SBK file, benchmark. Now, is this available as Docker containers? Like, can we just pull a container and start bring it up or something?
Yes, it is available. I think recently, I mean, not recently, a couple of months back, Docker stopped automatic, auto upload.
Okay.
So it might be having some old version, but
Okay.
however, actually you can build the Docker container. You can
Okay.
actually build your own Docker container. So
Okay.
that is also available. All you have to do is you just have to go to the build.
Build Docker. Okay.
Yeah, build Docker, and you just have to pass the parameter. So I think I've already added some of the explanation on the Docker's part.
Oh, okay. 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 It's there in here. Okay. Okay. I did see.
So it is
Got it.
there. You can straight away pull it.
Okay.
Otherwise, you can build it also. But this is actually not the latest one that you might be getting.
Understood. Understood.
This could be the old version. Kubernetes also it is available. So there are
Okay.
samples which are already there.
Okay.
And like the way the Docker Compose, there is a Docker Compose for, see this by default Grafana runs 2 instances. If you go and see the Docker desktop containers, if you see that it actually runs 2 things. One is Grafana and Prometheus. If you are seeing this, this I may not be able to expand it, but this, if you see that Grafana and Prometheus, but actually I have a Docker Composer which actually runs all 3: Prometheus, Grafana, SBK.
Okay.
So this is SBK Docker Compose. This is where it
Okay.
is. You can just build it. You can just run it as it is straight away. It just works.
Okay. 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 One question is again, when you make a release out of this, right? Do you automatically push to the Docker Hub from in your CI? Is that a part of
Yes,
it?
yeah, it is there, but that's what I think. It's a couple of months. The Docker Hub actually has actually stopped the.
Okay. Sure.
They are not actually. I mean, they're not taking the latest one. It used to be. I had
Okay.
set
Sure.
all these things, but now it is not. Let me try where is actually. I mean, let me see. When is the last one which was there? In fact, I sent an email requesting them all these things I did, but there was no response. I mean, they asked for an application, okay, to see the. Okay, this is last pushed was a year ago.
Oh, okay. This is quite old.
So yeah, this is quite old, but locally you can build it.
Got it. Yeah,
because there is no free upgrade now. I need to buy a plan if I want to keep it.
Oh, okay. This is something which even we need to check within that case. As in, you're having trouble with having it on the free version?
Yeah, there is no.
Of...
It is not free now. It's not free now.
Okay. Sure.
Okay.
But I think,
so
yeah.
Whatever that you get, the pushed one is a year-old one, and I don't suggest. Rather, you just build your own Docker image. Steps are there, right? It's pretty simple one. You can just build it.
Got it. If there are any other questions, we can take it up. Otherwise, okay, we have about 1 minute left. Maybe a very quick updates on where we are on Kahoo. Sushant, maybe quickly we can just round up. So I think there are some updates happening, right?
Yeah, Anmit, hi. So one of the thing is like some people started trying our POC example to use. I'm going through the documentation. So if any of you are trying have some issues, you can directly contact to Slack, or you can also communicate in our other channels also. So that is one part. And second one is we have raised some of the pull request in Kahoo repo. So please do spend some time to go through, and if you have any queries or comments, please help us with that. So this is mainly the thing. Whatever POC we have done, we started extending that, and as a part of that, we have raised some pull requests. And pull requests are most of the things are logically separate and a kind of independently reviewable things. And if you have any queries or suggestions, please comment on the pull request.
Sushant, any tasks which are available for people maybe? Is there any issue that people can look
Actually, currently, that's what we expected, some kind of a review. Even individually, we
at?
check.
Okay.
And we will create some more tasks, because once these PRs, these are some kind of initial PRs. Once they are merged, we will be having some specific tasks. I mean, we can create some problem statement, and on top of this, they can try adding some code or improving some code can be done. So
Great.
I think it should be up soon once we merge these initial PRs.
Sure. Yeah, I think thanks Sushant. I think what we have is we have some PRs in Kahoot repository. The link is
And
there
also
in
the POC try for the new people, so that it can mean they might get some interest once they have some hands-on.
Yeah, so that POC link is I think shared in the
already
meeting notes as well.
and also in the Slack.
That's right. Yeah. So we'll put that in the
So
meeting.
Binay has already started trying, so he's halfway through now. So if any other people are trying, please let us know if you need any help.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So yeah, if anybody wants to check out, I'll be sharing the meeting notes where we have the link to the POC as well as link to the pull requests that are there. So if you want to go and check it out and review the pull request, you can do that. As well, some tasks that basically generally we are looking at PR reviews right now, but there may be some issues also which may come in from the POC example. So you can just take a look and raise them. I think we are running over time today. Thank you so much, everybody, and thank you especially to Dr. Keshav Munigoda for such a it started from getting started with, but we also went into deep dive session.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
No, do let me know. I mean, even if it is a multiple sessions, I can take it up. Are any, yeah, that's what I mean. Post any questions. This is something like I consolidated all my 20 years storage experience into one product. So let's see how this goes.
That's great.
Okay. So I need more of a, I mean, it may not be the direct the code contribution. I mean, any of your comments will definitely help.
Sure.
Any of your usage experience will definitely help.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thanks everybody for joining this community meeting. We are starting this new thing where we will be having, as today we had Dr. Keshav with us. Similarly, we'll try to get in more speakers. And as always, if you are interested in speaking on any topic, and like I said, any topic which can have some help to others, it could be related to open source, it could be related to Soda, it could be related to something to do with storage as well, or it is some interesting project which you are working on. We can give you a slot. Just let me know in advance, and I will add you on the next global community meeting agenda. With that, let's call this a meeting. Thank you so much for attending. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you in the next one in 2 weeks' time.
Sure. Thank you all. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.
Thanks.